Hi everyone. Howdy howdy. Let me show up over here, right? Okay. Hi, once again, it's me, Siddhartha, for Cine con Perspectiva. Nuevamente soy yo, soy anfitrión Siddhartha para Cine con Perspectiva. Y aquí nuevamente otro video más para ponerlos al tanto, poner al tanto las cosas por aquí en cuestión, en esta ocasión cinematográfica, una reseña más que creo que debo. Espérenme tanto. Ok. Vamos a hablar de, en esta ocasión, Isle of Dogs, Isla de Perros, dirigida por el gran Wes Anderson. Y ya vi esta película magnífica para decir de entrada. So, hi, and we're going to talk about, in this occasion, in this blogging, about Isle of Dogs, okay? So, alright. To begin with, it is a magnificent tale by Wes Anderson. Pretty original somehow, spectacular, very endearing, very heartful, very heart-throbbing, very touching, very funny, very, how can we say, very good tribute or homage to Akira Kurosawa and many of the culture of Japan. It's a very interesting approach to the culture, and even as an issue of the movie, it's a very interesting one indeed. The plot is as follows. Voy a leer la sinopsis para el contexto. Okay, so it says the mayor of the Japanese city of a Japanese city decrees that, with the motivation and the reason that of an epidemic, which he blames dogs for, decrees or gives the order to isolate every dog in this city. Okay, it's a fictional city. It's not precisely per se a place which exists in our world. It's an imaginary nation, an imaginary place, an imaginary somewhere. Okay, it's a very interesting story, no doubt, by Wes Anderson. Very imaginative. Visually, it's very creative, very crafty, very well detailed. The color palettes are very interesting. The cinematography is interesting. It's very colorful, no doubt. It's colorful. It's interesting. The voice actors is very interesting choices. Bryan Cranston is in it. Bill Murray is in it. Scarlett Johansson. Even Edward Norton. We haven't seen anything from Edward Norton in a while. He's in it. Tilda Swinton, who has been recurrently in Wes Anderson movies. What else? Many actors. Many actors. Jeff Goldblum is in this movie as well. The music was composed by Alexander Desplat and is very good. Narrated by Courtney B. Vance. Just interesting. Here we go. See? Which other actor which I'm missing here? This stupid cell phone. It gets clumsy all of a sudden. Many actors are in this movie. Bob Balaban is one of them. Greta Gerwig. Wow. It's a great cast of actors. And definitely, no doubt, there's a whole bunch you may elsewhere see how they made it. it is a very interesting crafty movie, no doubt. um it says so here. I love dogs. Tell the story of Atari Kobayashi, 12-year-old war to corrupt Mayor Kobayashi, when by executive order decree all. Let me go to the synopsis over here. I really like this movie plenty. How many minutes we have? Okay, 5. It's very interesting visually, because they made it with stop motion in its very traditional form. It's not the stop motion I understand for what I have read of how it was made. It's not the crafty nowadays sophisticated stop motion. It's a very more traditional orthodox stop motion, and definitely it's very fun loving adventure here in this motion picture. Oh man, I went elsewhere with this. Let me go. Well, to say not the least but the most, the theme of the story is very endearing, which is the love for animals. Of course, you can see that the cats definitely took over for a great chunk of the movie, and maybe they're the ones that made this complot possible of isolating the doggies. Okay. Indian Paintbrush was the production company along with American Empirical Pictures. The story is by Wes Anderson, Roman Coppola, Jason Schwartzman, and Kunichi Nomura. Produced by Wes Anderson, Scott Rudin, Steven Rails, and Jeremy Dawson. Okay, right. It is contextualized in near future Japan. It's a dystopia, near future Japan. Let me see what else here. What say I have? Bueno, es una historia muy entrañable de mascotas, de la discriminación hacia las mascotas, inclinándose por los gatos, porque está allí, pues, dicho en la historia que los gatos obviamente son los preferidos en esta historia, y por lo tanto podría entenderse que son los que pues tuvieron que ver tal vez con el complot, en la conspiración contra los perritos. Personalmente yo prefiero ambos, no tengo preferencias de inclinarme, pero bueno, pues este niño Atari, pues es el hijo del alcalde, y es el que quiere ir tras la búsqueda de su perrito. Pero aun cuando, como se oye muy sencilla, la trama es un poquito sofisticada, pero no es difícil de seguirla. El alcalde de esta ciudad ficticia, de esta nación ficticia, pues decreta que se deben de ayudar a los perros, porque los culpa de una influenza, de una epidemia de influenza, y no quiere echarles a perder necesariamente la historia, pero así va. Por no decir más que les puede echar a perder, creo que es que como estos videos deben ser, quiero entusiasmarlos a ver la película. Y de veras es bien interesante, bien emotiva y entrañable. Atari va tras su perrito, pero tiene una historia detrás muy emotiva, la historia de Atari y su perrito, porque Atari, pues una vez cuando estuvo enfermo, no, que cayó en coma, algo así, que estaba en cama en un hospital, le es asignado, o más bien a un perrito, le asignan un perrito, Spots se llama su perrito, el que recuerda a él, y este perrito lo cuida devotamente, cual guardia, cual guarura, al 100%, al todo, en cuerpo, mente, cuerpo y alma, se dedica a cuidar al niño. Él y el perrito desarrollan algo así como una especie de amistad, de lazo. Pero por no decir y revelar mucho, sucede algo muy misterioso, muy siniestro y maquiavélico que separa al niño de su perrito. Su perrito es el primer perro que expulsan. Ese es un poco quizás spoiler. Sorry. Pero sí es el perro ejemplar de esta nefasta y cruel decreto de aislar a los perros. Es el primero que mandan a habitar a la isla del basurero. Y de ahí va a desencadenarse una búsqueda insaciable, hasta más no poder, de Atari de ir detrás de su can. Pues bueno, él llega a la isla, se las ingenia mediante un invento para volar hasta allá literalmente, y va a aterrizar y va a conocer a una serie, a un clan de perros, a una jauría de perritos, cada uno con su propia historia, con su propia trama, su propia historia que contar. En inglés es muy importante, más interesante verla porque tiene muchas voces como las que ya referí, como Bryan Cranston, Edward Norton, Scarlett Johansson, Bill Murray, Bob Dalavan, muchos actores, incluso Yoko Ono está por ahí. Y si no saben quién es Yoko Ono, recuerden que es la viuda de John Lennon, el famoso compositor de los Beatles, famoso cantante y compositor de los Beatles, vaya la referencia. Van a ver a Greta Gerwig como una alumna de intercambio en este lugar distópico, y van a ver cómo participa ella en medio de todo esto, qué participación va a jugar o va a tener. No les quiero decir de más, de veras más que eso, para intrigarlos más, para ver la historia. Ya son 12 minutos, ¿ok? So, it's very interesting, very endearing, very close. It will be close to you if you're a dog lover, even more so if you love animals. Yes, of course, because it's a very endearing, very warm felt, true to your heart story because of what the plot is, and this mayor and his very nasty, awful law of getting rid of dogs as a conspiracy against dogs and isolating them from this nation, and just isolating them from the world, as a conspiracy, of course. And it's a very awful law, and Atari is related to the mayor, and he misses his dog Spots, which he met when he was at the hospital, due to some circumstances, sad circumstances, and they make a good relationship, a fond relationship between Spots and Atari, and he wants his dog back because his dog was the first dog isolated and taken to this junkyard island. Will he find out what happened to his dog Spots? You will have to find out by watching it, because I might ruin you one of the great surprises of this movie. I'm really pleasantly surprised, by the way, with the way Wes Anderson tells the story. It's very beautiful story to see. It's something you can watch with your children, your grandmother, your grandfather. It's a family film. It's not something that, like other Wes Anderson films, you will end up heartbroken necessarily. So this is as much as I can tell you, far to the extent without spoiling you necessarily, sin echarles a perder más, o sea, necesariamente la película es muy emotiva, muy entrañable, como decía en inglés, a los que amen animales, a los que amen aún más los perros. Es muy entrañable, por decirlo brevemente, y tiene mucho a su favor. Es una película muy familiar, sumamente familiar, muy divertida, muy graciosa. En inglés es mucho más interesante verla por el trabajo actoral y coral que hacen los actores, cada cual que aporta a los personajes con una personalidad de cada can. Um, y eso es lo que cabe decir sobre este entrañable relato. Vamos a enseñar porque no les. So I want to show you a little bit more pictures. You have Gollum over here. These are the doggies. These are images from I Love Dogs. Like I've said in previously in the other video, you know, the license thing with the with YouTube. See, some of the actors in this movie are far out very interesting. Scarlett Johansson does this doggy, and Bill Murray this doggy, and Jeff Goldblum and Greta Gerwig over here does a character, and Tilda Swinton does a bulldog. How cookie! This is a very good film to watch with your family. Comment below what you think of this stop motion animated film. It's a very easy plot to follow. It's pretty darn easy to follow. It's not too complicated, too difficult to follow, to understand even. The more so. Okay, so well, we're going to end this review at 16, 17 going to 17. I think I did pretty darn good. Así que bueno, aquí los dejamos. Vean Isla de Perros. Ya debe de estar o va a estar en Blu-ray, DVD, formatos digitales. Buy it on Blu-ray or any digital format, what have you. It's something you will love to treasure and cherish. This is a very good film to watch with just about anyone, who your family, your friends. You will definitely enjoy this film, and you will definitely want to watch it, maybe perhaps twice or more. It's a very, very endearing film. So, okay, así que bueno, cómprela, réntenla como quieran en formato digital, Blu-ray, DVD, etcétera. En 4K seguramente es un disfrute porque es mucho la riqueza de detalles que puedes apreciar. In 4K it's more delightful because of all the rich colors and textures how they crafted the movie in each dog, and even the world of the junkyard and the place, this fictional Japanese place. It's really more interesting to enjoy the textures and make it seem more realistic, like they tried and made an effort, and I think they did accomplish that. You will even get more the Easter eggs that they refer to Kurosawa. Van a poder ver muchos Easter eggs de Kurosawa probablemente, o de la cultura japonesa en 4K, así que se los recomiendo. Thank you all so much. We're going to 19 minutes. Vamos a 19 minutos. Bueno, con muchos videos también lo hacen cuando ahondan más a fondo de la película, conforme más recuerdan de la película, ok. Así que muchas gracias. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao.